I can really tell you guys put everything into it, and I'm just so appreciative of that. And again, just thank you for one of the better days I had last year. And I'm really excited for this song, and I'm glad there's an amazing video now to go with it. Because again, that wasn't my plan. That wasn't something I had in mind. And if we're going to have a video to a song, I'm really, really glad it's this one. So thank you so much.
This is the Sweno Creative Podcast. I'll be your host, professional photographer and video content creator, Bryon Sweno. In this podcast, we will discuss all parts of business, marketing, mindset, creativity, and self-improvement. Sometimes with the help of a special guest to provide some incredible outside perspective. Can you start off by telling the people who are watching this who you are and what you do?
My name is Collura. I'm a singer-songwriter living in Nashville. Originally from Michigan, the Detroit area. I moved down here about 7 years ago to further pursue, my dream of being a singer-songwriter. And we've been having a lot of fun.
Did you start off just as a singer-songwriter, or did you have the full band?
Like here in Nashville, or in Nashville, I kind of had the full band. It was a unique situation. Some of the band members that are currently in my band, I actually knew them before. They also lived in Michigan, and we kind of all moved down here at different times. I was kind of the last one to make it down here. So finally, when I got down here, we were able to get together again and book some gigs down here. But yeah, we were very familiar with each other because we played together up in Michigan.
How did you get started in music?
Honestly, I know it's like such a cliche when I said, I've been doing it forever, but it really, since I was, 3 or 4, my mom had bought one of those, I don't know if you remember them, those small karaoke boxes. It had like the microphone that attached to it. It came with like a Disney cassette tape. And my mom actually had bought it for a gift for my grandma. My grandma's a singer. And so my mom was like testing it out. And, I picked up the mic and just kind of started singing along to the Disney tune. And my mom's like, this might be something that, Carly is interested in. And from there, I was in plays at church. I would sing at church. I would sing at any event that was happening in my area, the park, school, just anywhere that would have a young child, because I was very young at the time. Like nursing homes, I'd go and do events there. My parents ended up purchasing a professional karaoke system, and they kind of did that as a business. They would do karaoke. They'd be hired for like parties and stuff. And, I would sing as well. So that's kind of where it all started for me.
That's awesome. It's good that you had parents too that were like helping and fostering your gifts.
Yes. Yeah. And it just almost was like a fluke. Like everyone in my family is pretty musical. My grandma was a singer. Like I mentioned, she played piano. Everyone can kind of carry a tune, but, I really kind of took it really seriously and just really have always enjoyed it. It's kind of like my outlet, my peace. And, they were very supportive with it, and never to the point where I felt like it was forced on me. I feel like you hear those stories a lot where like, my parents, wanted me to live out their dream. Like that just never was the case. I just always truly loved it. And they've always been very supportive in that dream.
That's awesome. What age did you start? You said you were pretty young, but.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 is when I started, when my parents discovered that, okay, she might be interested in this. And then just every year I would enter into competitions and, but I was older when I got into my first band. There was a period of time, I'd say when I was in high school, that I got really, really shy. I just didn't want to do this in front of anyone. I don't know. I just got really shy for like a handful of years. And it wasn't until I was, I'd say about 21. I was in college. I was like, what? I really want to give music a shot. So, I joined a band in Detroit. They played out of the casinos there in Detroit. And so that's where I kind of started playing with, a band. And then I ended up quitting that band because it just wasn't quite working out the way I was hoping it would. We weren't really doing the types of music and songs that I was hoping we would do. So my mom put an ad out on Craigslist, female singer looking to
Good
join a
old
band.
Craigslist.
I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? I was like, this is the worst idea. We've all seen the shows and heard the stories. Like,
Yeah.
this is a terrible idea. So about a day later, she got a hit that there was a band, a local band, looking for another female singer. It kind of like matched up all the things that I was looking for, and they were like, come on out. We have a warehouse where we do rehearsals. I was like, oh, Mom, you're coming with me. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
already
typical come
sounding
on out to my
so
abandoned
bad.
warehouse.
Exactly. I was like, you're coming with me. Like we die together. This is gonna be on you
Yeah.
if something bad happens. But honestly, it was the greatest thing that that could have happened to me. I joined the band, and a lot of the members in that band I play with still today. A couple of them are
That's
in my
awesome.
band now. We're all like the best of friends, and it was the best thing that could have happened to me.
It's cool that you've like grown in music with these people too, and then they've all moved. Was it all just coincidence that they happened to end up in Nashville also?
Um, no, I wouldn't say it was coincidence. Some of them, so the band ended up fizzling out up in Michigan. We were called the Two Timing Band. We had a good couple year run. Um, but one of the members was going to join the National Guard, and he had kids, and another member moved down to Tennessee, the Nashville area for work. He got transferred. And, I debated on what to do. I knew I would kick myself if I didn't at least give Nashville a chance. I would always wonder, like, play the what if game.
Yeah.
But also the thought of leaving home terrified me. I never left home. I didn't go away to college. I went to like a local college, and like if you would have told me that you'd be moving to Nashville and you'd leave your friends and your family, I would have been like, no, you don't know me. That's not something I would ever do. So the fact that I did it is still surprising to me. But no, it wasn't really a coincidence. It just kind of all happened. But just the timing was just different. We all kind of came down um, at different times. The members that did end up moving down to Tennessee.
How has Nashville been? Do you always hear like the stories of people moving to Nashville and they're like doing the bartender thing or waitress thing, and they're pursuing the music on the side? Is that the route that you've went down, or is it better or worse than you thought?
It's definitely different from what I thought it would be. Um, I do have a full-time job. I went to college. I'm a physical therapist assistant. So I've always been like I'm such a dreamer, but at the same time, I'm also very realistic. And I knew I had to work in order to fund the dream, essentially. I couldn't be
Yeah.
down here if I didn't have, my full-time big girl 9 to 5 job. So yeah, I work full-time, during the week. But as far as like my expectations of Nashville, I just kind of thought, we'd all get our band together and we'd be this unit like we were when we were up in Michigan living, and we'd get all these gigs booked. And it's just really not how it works down here. It's very different from, other places too. Because like in Michigan and in most places, you have your band, you have your unit, you guys rehearse every week, and you don't really sub out players. Like you guys just, do the gigs together. Well, down here, people move down here, musicians move down here, and all they do is music. That is their full-time job. They can go down on Broadway and play multiple shifts all day long. And so I found it was very hard to find, I don't want to say a committed guitar player, because I've had committed guitar players, but they also just play with other people. So they're not always available when I
Yeah.
need them because they're working, that's their full-time job. So I get that they can't wait around for me or for anybody else to get a gig. They have to take the gigs as they come. And I get that now.
Mhm.
But at the time I was like, this is very frustrating because, it's hard to find a guitar player. It's like getting somebody on the same page every time that you want to do a gig because you're always getting somebody different. So
Yeah.
that's been frustrating. Not something I knew when I came down here. And it's probably a good thing I didn't know that, because I probably wouldn't have come,
Yeah.
knowing that was going to be a big struggle. So it's definitely different than what I was expecting. But I mean, I don't regret at all moving down here. I've had so many great opportunities. Not so much in town. I've had great opportunities here in town, but we also have been able to travel a lot. Got a lot of great gigs out in Missouri, and that's kind of how this whole thing started with
Yeah.
us. So it has led us to a lot of really amazing opportunities that I'm so grateful for.
How did you actually end up coming to Missouri? How did that all transpire first?
So we were booked for some gigs in 2020, and then everything got canceled.
Yeah.
So we got rescheduled to come back out in 2021, um, to open for Uncle Cracker one night and to open for David Lee Murphy the second night. So I was like, this is great. I'm so excited. We've been waiting for this opportunity for a whole year
Yeah.
now. Um, we're going to plan a big stage. I said, you know what? I really want to um, get some great photos taken, like, live events. Because at that time, it's like, you never knew, when you're going to have another gig again after the whole, the world shut down. And so like, we finally got this gig. I want to get some great pictures because who knows going forward what's going to happen. We just don't know anymore. So I reached
Yeah.
out on one of like the Lake of the Ozark local pages saying, hey, come into town. I need a photographer for this gig. Here's my budget, who's available. And that's how I met Josh. And since then, him and I have, developed a relationship, and he's taken multiple pictures for me when I come out there. I usually ask him if he's available. And that's kind of how I met you, through him, and how we were able to shoot
Hmm.
the video that's coming out soon.
Do you have a video coming out soon?
I do. I'm so
So
excited. It's
let's
so
talk about
good.
that in just a second.
Okay.
Let's leave that for just a second.
Okay.
So Josh Breedlove is who that is, and he's actually been on the podcast before. Great friend, another great photographer, does video stuff as well. He killed the photos, I thought. He showed me
So good.
those, and I was like, we've always been wanting to partner on something, some project to get like the creativity going, and those higher end, I guess in quotation marks, the bigger budget, the things that as a creative you can put your vision into. We had just never really aligned with a project like that. And he came to me and he was like, hey, I've been taking photos for this one lady who comes and plays shows. She's really good. She's really awesome. We should see about doing a video for her. And I was like, sign me up. Like it's awesome. I mean, I listened to some of your music before. He sent me some links of a video you had done previously. And I was like, we could do this and do
And
it
you guys
really well.
did. You did.
And I had been a part of a couple bigger productions at that point and saw all of what happened, all the back end of things. And I was like, we can 100% make this happen. So Josh, credit to Josh, he planned the whole entire thing, did all the location scouting, handled like all of that legwork. Like he is super organized as a human, and I am just not. And I don't know. He killed it. Like all the locations were perfect. All of the coordination between the people being in the right spot when they needed to be. I don't know how he keeps all that stuff straight in his head, but he somehow did. And it all went flawlessly. We were supposed to do 2 days of shooting. We did it in one. What was your experience from this will be interesting for me to hear too, is just seeing someone from like the outside perspective come in as like that client role and then seeing what came out the other side of that. How was that for you?
I mean, I was excited. He kind of came up with the vision. I mean, initially when I was recording the song, I didn't really have a plan to put out a video. I just didn't. And when he came to me with the idea, I said, sure. And so I didn't really know what to expect. I knew he would do a good job because of the photos and stuff. And, but I mean, he just blew me away and then you did too. I mean, with all the planning and the schedule, and it just was more than what I could have ever expected in the best way. You guys did such an incredible job. That was such a fun day. It was one of my highlights of last year. I had a really rough year personally last year. And when I look back on like the good things that happened last year, there's not a lot of them. But that day was one of them. And I'm just so thankful to have that experience, that memory. Meeting everybody was so great. I just kind of left it in his hands because I didn't really know. I mean, I'm coming from a different state. I feel like,
Yeah.
he of course asked me if, my suggestions, and he had sent me ideas. But other than that, I feel like I just kind of really didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to go on. And just, it was just like the perfect day. It was so much fun.
That's
So much
awesome
fun.
too, that you took that leap again. Like, you, for one, taking the leap of going to Nashville first, like that's something that a lot of people do, because you hear those stories, but a lot of people also do not. And that's kind of like a common theme with my podcast here that we kind of talk about, is the people who actually go after their dreams and make those somewhat a reality. If not, you might not be the biggest rock star in the world, or, that might not ever happen, but you at least you went for it, and
Right.
you did it. So
Yes.
like, I commend you for that. Like that's more than 99% of people do. So that's awesome to think of. And then also doing that, of coming down here, playing those shows, and having the forethought also of reaching out to hire a photographer that would get good photos of you guys. Like, you do a lot of really good things, like thinking ahead. And that's super impressive from my standpoint.
Well, thank you. I am very much a planner, and I think ahead. But as far as like taking leaps and just kind of letting whatever it is be, that's a very new and recent thing for me. That has been, that's not something that's out of character for me. But I feel
Yeah.
like just the past few years, it's worked out well in a lot of situations. And I'm just like, it is what it's going to be. And, it's kind of nice to not micromanage or just have a plan. Sometimes the best things come from just not having a plan, just going with the
Yeah.
flow.
Well, I appreciate you coming down and trusting not only Josh, but also me with that, and your music. Obviously, music. I'm a musician also. I play guitar since I was 8 years old. I've had bands all through my life, and done music. I don't know if we ever talked about that whenever you were down here, because we
You
were
mentioned that.
so like, trying to get everything done. But yeah, I've been a musician my whole life too. So like, knowing what goes into that, and that's how I ended up picking a camera up, was through wanting to make YouTube videos of myself playing guitar and stuff. And then
Wow.
having that opportunity to have an artist from Nashville come to our state to have us film a video is just, it's nuts to think about. And I thank you for being so cool and so down to try stuff. And like, we told you, like, this is our first time of doing this, but we think we got a pretty good plan. So we essentially were planning to shoot for 2 days, and we ended up getting everything done in 1 day.
Yeah.
Which was like the perfect cherry on top of the whole day being awesome. Everyone was super tired by the end of it, but like, everyone was still excited. That's
It
like
was
the
so
best
fun.
feeling ever. It was super accomplished feeling.
Yeah. No, you guys did so great. I couldn't have asked for a better video. In fact, I was given 2 videos. I didn't even know that was going to happen. And
Yeah.
I was like, I can't go wrong with either one. It was just,
Yeah.
you guys did such an amazing job. And thank you so much for that. Honestly, it was a great day.
So you are putting out this video
Yes. Next week, March 7th.
next week, March 7th. So this podcast is going to go up on the 4th. So in just a couple days after this releases, there will be a new video shot by myself, Josh, all of the things. We had a lot of help with the video also. We had a lot of cool
Yes.
people help. Colby, I believe his name was.
Yes.
I'm going to miss people, but we had a whole bunch of Naaman, shot all the behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to be cutting together some awesome behind the scenes stuff for you also.
Oh, really?
Here.
Yay.
Yeah, we have the whole entire day documented. So
Oh my gosh. I would
Yeah.
love to see some of that.
yeah. So if you want to post some of that, I'll cut it and send it to you, and
I'd love
you can post
to.
some of it, and we'll get some cross promotion going on and hype up this video a little bit. So
I love that.
what was your favorite part of that day, do you think?
Ooh. Favorite part? I don't know. The whole day was just so great. I don't even know if I could pick one day. I was very nervous.
Yeah, we all were, honestly. I think at first everyone kind of had that like nervous excitement, like, we think this is going to go awesome, but we're not quite sure yet. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you
I
get
mean,
the old truck, in the woods? Who doesn't like the old trucks and stuff?
yes, that was a cool truck. The drone footage was an awesome idea. Yeah, I guess everybody will see it in a few days. But yeah, just the whole day was great. And you could just tell as the day went on, we all got more comfortable with each other. And then by the end, like when we're all, we had a few drinks at that point because we were kind of drinking in the video. Just like, man, we should have started the day with these drinks, with these
Yeah.
drinks.
We had to make it to
No,
the end of the day though.
we
So
did. Yes, it probably worked out best the way we did it. But yeah, no, by the end, I was like, oh man, it kind of sucks. This is the end of the day.
shoot another music video. That's always an
Perfect.
option.
You guys are hired.
So having seen the final product,
Mhm.
what is your favorite part without giving too much away of what happens in the video?
I don't know if I can pick a favorite part, but the ending is kind of cool. It's like the ending's kind of like it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll,
It's fun
we'll
to
just leave
play.
that there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll stop.
There's fire
There might
involved.
be
There's a bunch
fire.
of other stuff. Yeah. So
That was actually a lot. I won't give too much away, but that was actually really funny shooting the fire stuff. It took a
yeah.
few. It took a few tries.
Yeah. And the end result came out differently than we had thought of it, but I actually like it better.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
What are your plans going forward after? So you have this new music. Do you have more new music that you're going to be releasing also?
I have stuff in the works. I'm still writing. I don't have anything quite finished yet. But yeah, going forward, I'd love to release another song, maybe at the end of the year, beginning of the next year. I haven't released a new song since 2020, so I'm very, very excited about this one. Um, and then,
It's a
yeah, I
good
mean,
song also.
thank you. I'm sure you're so sick of it. You probably know it by heart at this point.
I've listened to it probably more than I have ever listened to anything in my life,
You
and
probably
I'm
listened
still
to it more
not
than
tired
me.
of it. So
Oh.
I honestly probably have.
Yeah,
My daughter also, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and she always tells me to turn that on whenever we're driving in the car. She loves that song.
oh my
And
gosh,
like
thank you.
I've had her watch the video with me on, like, I have it on private on my YouTube so that we could see it on the TV and monitor the video on different things
Oh,
before we sent it to you. And
yeah.
my daughter would just go around our house singing that song. She's like, turn that video on, turn the video on.
Oh
So
my
she absolutely
gosh.
loves it. So you're crushing it
Well,
with the
yay.
9-year-olds for sure already. So
Yes.
that's where
That's
that's where the money's
amazing.
at, you know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool.
She's super musically inclined also. So she doesn't just like anything. So she actually has good musical taste, and she
Okay.
loves that. So it's her favorite thing. Every
Oh
time
my
we're in the car, still
gosh.
to this day, every time she gets in the car, she asks me to play it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's so cool. Oh.
So more live shows this year.
Yep.
Anything planned?
Yep. We got some stuff out in Missouri again this year, so I'm excited for that. We'll be at the Lake of the Ozarks again in August. Um, we got a few things here in Nashville, and then I'll be going up to Michigan, where I'm from, for a couple shows. So a lot of traveling this summer, which is fine with me, so fun. But yeah, yep, got some shows, some good stuff in the books for the summer, and booking for the fall. And yeah, I'd like to kind of finish some of these unfinished songs that I have in my back pocket and get some more stuff out.
So do you write all of your own music?
Yeah, yep, for the most part. There's been one
You write
song.
all of the instruments as well?
Um, I don't play an instrument, unfortunately, but sometimes I'll have like a melody, an
Yeah.
idea that that I want to do, and so I'll sing it into my phone or hum it, and then I'll get together with a producer or guitar player, and then they'll kind of transpose it. Um, but yeah, I guess for the most part, I've done it different ways. As I'm sure you know, as a musician, sometimes you kind of get a melody first, and you come up with the words, or you come up with the words first, and then you figure out a melody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say for a handful of them, it's been kind of I've had this sound in my head, and just kind of sing it, and then it's amazing what these musicians can do. to
Yeah.
turn just my idea into a real song that one day you might have a real video for. It's just like a mind-blowing thought.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
That's always the part that I thought was really cool about being a musician was like, you just have, like, you wake up one day and you have a random thing in your head, and then being able to go pick up a guitar or be able to sing the melody line or sit down at the piano and like make something that's never existed before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the same thing I like about like cameras. And that's what drew me to this. And I started leaning more heavily into this, and also started to realize I could actually make money with this versus playing music in the middle of Missouri, you know,
Right.
I played a lot of like heavy metal stuff. So there's absolutely no audience for that here. So
Oh
I
no.
would have to move way away to do anything. So I just kind of put that away as an idea, picked up the camera, and just like went to the moon with it.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great.
But just that fact of, thank you. The fact of like making something that's never existed before, whether it's like a painter or an artist that's drawing, or, you know, a musician or someone taking photos or something with a camera. It's crazy to think that you're making things that will be looked back on, and they exist because of you. So
Yeah, it is a strange thing. You just wonder, like, you get this idea and your idea turns into some words and you're like, I don't even know if this is good. And then you kind of get a melody and then you play it and then someone's playing it and then you get it all. But it's just like, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a feeling that I'm not sure, like, how could anyone ever get used to that feeling or getting, so excited? Like, it's a real thing now. It's a real song that real people can listen to with a real video that people can watch. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just a very, very mind-blowing thing. It's so much fun and it's exciting.
looking forward, we kind of touched on your plans of going around touring a little bit. Do you guys have those same goals of making it quote unquote, you know, as a musician? Or is it, we'll do this for fun, if something happens, it happens, like that sort of approach?
I mean, obviously, I would love to be able to wake up every day and do this for a living and not have to work a 9 to 5 and just put all my time and energy into the music. That is my ultimate dream, ultimate goal. I know the chances are just so slim. I mean, honestly, if we're being realistic. So it's like at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I'm still having so much fun. I'm still being able to be creative. I'm doing what I love. It's an outlet for me. It never feels like work or a job, or like a burden of any sort. I get to do music with my closest friends. We get to travel around and meet amazing people. I mean, so yeah, if it ends up just being this thing that we do for fun, if nothing ever comes of it, then that's fine. We've had a lot of great opportunities. We've got to open for great acts, and it just has opened the door to so many fun, amazing opportunities and memories that I've made with my closest friends. At the end of the day, if that's all that comes of it, then we had a good time at the end of the day. But of course, I'd love for it to take off, and then we can all still have so much fun and get paid really, really well, and not have to have real jobs. Doing what you love. I think that just must be such an amazing experience for the people that do get that opportunity to just wake up every day and truly do what you love for a living, whatever that is. If you can make a living doing what you're truly passionate about, I think that's just like the ultimate gift.
That is awesome. I also agree. I fortunately am in that scenario where I've taken something, the music thing, and turned it into something else. And then I do this for a living now. I create photos and videos for my life and support my children with that. And it's crazy to think of sometimes that I get to wake up and just be creative. Like, that is my job. But that also
That's amazing.
It also, there's a different layer to it though, of like, now your passion is your job. So that kind of throws a wrench in sometimes, but the good days so far outweigh the bad that it's not even close. And I always tell my kids, like, I would rather have a bad day being a full-time creative any day than have a decent day at a factory where I was working before. So
Yeah. Yeah. And what a great message for your kids too. To like you can pursue your dreams and if you work hard and it works out and you know you can do what you love for a living. That's great.
well, according to my 9-year-old, you are the best rock star in the world
Ah,
already. So
I'll take
don't
it.
tell her. We won't tell her any different.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep her thinking that I shot for the biggest artist ever, which you will be the biggest artist ever.
Well, thank you. That's very sweet. And we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Anything else you want to touch on before we head off? I don't want to take up your whole night. I appreciate you being on here and willing to share your story and talk to people as well.
Just thank you so much for having me on. That was such a treat to see you reach out and ask me to be on your podcast. I haven't done too many podcasts. I've done a few. So anytime somebody wants to talk to you for a little while, I just think that's so nice. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you for all of your work with the video and your time and everything. I know you guys put so much time and hard work into that day. And then obviously many days after putting it all together. And I can really tell you guys put everything into it. And I'm just so appreciative of that. And again, just thank you for one of the better days I had last year. And I'm really excited for this song. And I'm glad there's an amazing video now to go with it. Cause again, that wasn't my plan. That wasn't something I had in mind. And if we're going to have a video to a song, I'm really, really glad it's this one. So thank you so much.
What better hype up of a video than that?
I'm so excited.
I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate your time and you taking the risk essentially of coming to a different state to film a video with who knows who at that point, you know. I appreciate that. And
Well,
you
thank you. It
putting
was
your
fun.
faith in us. And I'm so glad to hear that you love it and that we delivered on what we wanted to. So
Yes, let's do it again.
let's do it. Let me know whenever you're coming to in August. You said,
Yeah.
Let me know, and I'll try to be there.
Okay.
I'll bring my daughter.
Yes.
Her first ever rock/concert sort of thing. So
Yes, it's during the day. It's at the Fishing Company. I don't know if you've heard of it. Let me get the dates here real quick. We'll be there Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. So that's at the Fishing Company at Lake of the Ozarks. I think it's
I'm gonna look right now and
Camdenton.
see.
Is it Camdenton?
I don't know. That's still confusing. I've lived here my whole entire life, and I can't tell the difference between Lake of the Ozarks, Camdenton. They're all like right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like
usually
boom,
we
boom,
just
boom.
say at the lake, you know. So
We'll be at the lake, and it's on the lake, and it's a cool spot. Good drinks, good food, family
you said
friendly
the
as well.
16th and 17th.
Yep, yep.
We have that open. So
Oh my gosh, yay! I think we start at 7
Okay.
or 7:30. Yeah, but I'll post about it, and I'll definitely let you know.
yeah, let me know if anything changes.
Okay.
And I'll write that in my calendar right now, and I'll
Yay!
try to make plans to be there. I'm sure Josh will
Perfect.
come too, get some photos and stuff for you.
We'll get the whole clan together.
Yeah, get the whole crew together again.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for being on.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see what everyone thinks about this video.
Me too. Thank you so much.